African healers were not labeled witch doctors by accident. It's because the colonial powers needed to eliminate all competitions despite believing their medicine was superior. They knew they could not compete with indigenous natural remedies as nature itself was the pharmacy. So the Catholic Church, acting as a faithful agent of colonialism, deployed its missionaries across Africa to launch a deadly smear campaign against African healers, first by assassinating their characters and then by physically targeting them. However, the truth was always in the name itself, witch doctors. They recognized African healers as doctors, but the word witch came from jealousy and their inability to comprehend how the people they looked down on possessed such a deep understanding of medicinal plants. Look, the goal was to erase indigenous knowledge and undermine traditional medicine, which had served communities for centuries. And across the African continent, traditional healers are known as marabu, sangomas, nganga, and more. But to show you the absurdity, in DRC, Monganga means doctors. It's a blend of two words, Mon, which stands for my in French, and Nganga, which refers to traditional healers. Yet, remove Mon and suddenly Nganga is reduced to witch doctors. I mean, it's not a secret that racism can only glow in isolations but dims under the slightest scrutiny because it is fundamentally weak. It relies entirely on the system to first destroy everything in the area it wants to dominate so it can control the narrative. You see, they had a product but no demand for it, so they had to manufacture the conditions to force the desired outcome because the goal was to dominate spiritually, physically, and psychologically through a deliberate, widespread campaign to erase Africa's historical and cultural memory. And I have to admit, they've done a great job. It was well executed to the point that some Africans today fear even their own reflection in the mirror, doubting themselves at every step. You see, that's why I can never argue with one of my favorite poets, the Jamaican Muta Baruka, when he says, slavery is not African history. Slavery interrupted African history. Listen, I have an interesting story about my experience with a traditional healer, and if there is enough demand for it, I'll share it next Sunday, same time.
We, ni nini?